Our understanding is phase 3 data is not available, and I wondered how concerned WHO might be about that vaccination proceeding on a wider basis without the data being available, and whether WHO is in touch with Chinese authorities to obtain that phase 3 data, please. Thank you.
Dr. Swaminathan will respond. Thank you.
Thank you for that question. I could start, and Mary Angela might want to add a little bit on the regulatory aspects. As we have been saying in the past, there are clear criteria for how drugs and vaccines are evaluated. New drugs and vaccines are evaluated before they are introduced into the population. And when we're talking about vaccines against COVID, we have to be mindful of several things. One, that they're being developed at the fastest speed that we've ever known before, so unprecedented speed. Second, that we're using a number of new platforms, a number of platforms that have not been used in humans before. We're talking here about the RNA and DNA vaccines, and also some of the viral vectors that have not been deployed at scale. And then, of course, we're talking about using it not on millions of people, but potentially on billions of people. So we have to put into perspective the introduction of a vaccine, given these new circumstances that have not been in the past, and then evaluating the risks and benefits of introducing a vaccine before we have adequate data on both efficacy and safety. So efficacy, one would be able to assess based on vaccinating a significant number of people, half given the vaccine, the other half not given the vaccine or given a placebo, and then looking at the number of infections in these two groups, and you expect a reduction of at least 50% in the vaccinated group. Safety is a little more complex because safety involves both immediate side effects, which are quite common with many vaccines. So you may have fever, you may have pain at the local site or swelling, which usually subsides in a couple of days. But then you need longer follow-up for side effects, particularly unexpected side effects, which you may see only over weeks and months. And so we would expect to see a follow-up again for a significant period of time to look both for long-lasting protection and safety signals that may pick up later. So that is why WHO has these criteria, and we'd like to see data on both safety and efficacy in significant numbers of people. So the phase 1 and 2 studies are usually done in a few dozen individuals. And while these give you some idea about safety and also an idea about the immunogenicity of the vaccine, what we are really looking for is signals for efficacy and safety during longer follow-up. Now, having said that, national regulatory authorities do have the mandate and the power to allow use of medical products within their own jurisdictions under certain conditions. And an emergency, a pandemic, is one of those conditions where national regulatory authorities may consider this type of use. Hopefully, this is done under monitored conditions. It's done under what we call the emergency use of products under research settings where people who are given the vaccine are followed regularly, are assessed at periodic intervals, where data is collected and can be used. But it is only a temporary solution. And the longer-term solution is really completing those phase 3 trials, which will provide the confidence for those vaccine candidates to be actually used in the millions of doses. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Swaminathan. Dr. Simao, I think, has something to add.
Just a quick additional information that WHO's office in China and WHO headquarters has been working with the regulatory authorities in China. We're in direct contact and sharing information and the requirements for international approval of vaccines. So we're working together with the Chinese authorities on this.
Thank you, Dr. Simao. I think we are coming up to the hour, so I think we will take one more question, and I will come back to Gunilla. Gunilla, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead, Gunilla.
Thanks,
So
Farida. Thank you
the
for taking my question.
vaccines.
My question concerns schools, mainly in Europe. They have all restarted now.